Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This will be part 2. I hope you finished part 1 and you make the pattern for this top. Today we do the sewing part. So we're going to start with the ruffles. And what we have to do is we have to hem one side. And I'll make it a very small hem, so I fold it in 1/2 centimeter and then 1/2 centimeter again. And with this thin fabric, it's easiest when you pin the whole hem before you sew it. So we're gonna hem it, and on the other side we're gonna make a wide basting stitch so that we can gather the ruffle to put it along the front side. So that's the first thing to sew. Make sure you use a jersey needle if you have jersey fabric, and lower the pressure foot. Maybe look up at your sewing machine instructions how you do that. Always do backstitch when you start sewing and when you stop sewing, so that the thread won't come unraveled. But do not backstitch when you make a basting stitch together, because when you want to gather, you must be able to pull on the threads to get the gatherings. So don't backstitch, so that you can pull on one of the threads to make the nice gatherings. So now we take our two front pieces, the left and the right one, and we put the ruffle on top of it. Make sure you do the wrong side of the ruffle to the right side of the fabric of the front part. And then you lay it with the sides together. Pin that down for a while. And also the low side. Make sure it's not turned around somewhere. Pin this down. And what you do is you pull on one of the strings that are hanging out here, and when you pull, the ruffle automatically comes together, and you pull just as hard as you need, so that the side of the ruffle will be the same length as the side of the pattern. So this is almost the same, a little bit more. And what you do is you adjust the ruffle so that it's evenly distributed along the whole ruffle, not that it's bulking up at one side or like that. And then you pin this down, and the same with the other one. Wrong side of the ruffle and stitching the gathering. Try to stitch a little left from the gathering thread, and that way you can get a better finish later on, and it's easier to get the ruffles nicely distributed, and you can push them down when you sew exactly left to the thread you put in. Don't put over the thread, that will not be too good. So now the ruffles are attached. Now what we have to do is we have to cut off most of the seam allowance along the sides, because then it's easier to finish it off later on. So you cut off as much as you can, but make sure that you don't cut through the threads, but cut as close as you can to the threads, that your seam allowance is as little as you can. Okay. I pre-cut the rest already, so then you don't have to wait that long for me. Then we have to finish these sides, and what is easiest and most beautiful to do is make a bias tape. I made one already, and basically it is a strip of, in this case, 5 centimeters wide. I'll open it up. And what you do, you can use such a thing, it's a bias tape maker, and you thread this through the bias tape maker and it comes out already done. The only thing you have to do is iron it when it comes out so it gets really neat edges. But you can also make it without this one. Then you take your strip, you iron it in two, so you iron this side, then you open it up again. It's very difficult fabric, this. And then you fold the sides to the middle, but you just iron. So you fold it in half, so here is a line, and you fold the sides to that line. And when you folded the sides to the middle, then you fold it again double, and you iron it very good so that it holds its shape, then it's easier to use. Then when you have done that, you take your front part and you take the one side up, then you open up your tape and you open up this side and you lay it against the seam allowance and you pin right in that line you made with the iron, and you go all the way down. And when you've done this all the way down, you fold it over to the other side, to the right side. This is the right side. And because you've already ironed all the seams, it's very easy to just fold it back and pin this up. And you see that you have a really nice bend along the side to finish it off. So you pin this, you fold this all back to the front, you pin it all the way down, and then we're going to stitch that. Stitch bias tape straight through the line, and when you fold it over to the other side, then try to stitch as close to the fold as possible. That gives the most neat finish for the bias tape. Okay, so we have the two front parts, very nice and neat, looks good. Then we take our back part that was folded in half, so I open it up and we're gonna sew the shoulder seams. So we're doing right side to right side. This is the right side, this is the right side, and I'm gonna pin the shoulders together. And you can leave the ruffle loose. I rather like it to be together. Now you have to watch out because this side is already finished, the front side, but the back not. So you can finish it off first with the hem. I would like to do it afterwards when I have the seams of the shoulders together. So we're gonna pin this and then leave here a bit for the hem. Same the other shoulder, front part, back part, place the ruffle between, leave a bit for the hem, and we pin this together. There we go. And we also can do the side seams. Those together, the other side. Okay, so we're gonna sew the two shoulders and the two sides. For normal seams I like to use my serger, because the serger sews and finishes in one time. But you can certainly do this with your sewing machine. Use a normal straight stitch and after that use a zigzag stitch or an overlock stitch to finish the sides, and that's also possible. You don't need a serger, but it's just very handy and very quick when you have a serger for the seams. So it's already becoming to look like a top. Front and back are together. Now we're gonna go on with the sleeves. And what we have to do with the sleeves is the same as with the ruffle. You make a small hem on the straight line. Make a small hem, 1/2 centimeter in, 1/2 centimeter in. I like to pin this all the way. And on the rounded side we make a basting stitch so that we can gather this. So that's the next step. Okay, so now we're gonna put the sleeve in the armhole. We're gonna find the middle of the sleeve by folding it together and put a pin just where the middle of the sleeve is, like so. And we put the right sides together, the middle together with the shoulder seam. Then, because the sleeve will not fill the whole armhole, you're gonna look where you want the sleeve to stop. And I already did the other one, and I made it stop about 6 centimeters from the side seam. So I'm gonna pin there the end of the sleeve. Make sure the front and the back are at the same level. So the other one, the other end has to end on the back, on the same place as on the front. So that's here. Then again you pull on the thread to get the gathering. Just one thread, otherwise it won't run. And you gather it as much as you need to fit the armhole. And you pin it all around, and we're gonna sew all around. And when we've done that, we're gonna hem this part that stays open, just again by folding it once in and a second time in. And if you want, you can also stitch all the way around to make it a nice finish. When you sew in the sleeves, make sure first that you put the right sides together from the sleeve and the top. It has happened to me more than one time that I did that wrong, so check before you start sewing. Easiest is to sew on the side where the gatherings are, because you can adjust them and you can see that they are distributed nicely. If it isn't, then you can pin again before you sew it, because to loosen it again when you have sewn, it's a hell of a job. So check first and look while sewing if it's well pinned. Okay, so the sleeves are in, all nice. The rest of the armhole is hemmed, because the sleeve stops here, but this is also the armhole, so that's hemmed. That's already nice. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna gather the front part before we can attach it to the waistband. And what I did with the waistband, I cut some interfacing to make it a bit more stiff, because it's very light fabric, and this white thing here is the interfacing. You can cut that in any shape you like, so you make half of the waistband with the interfacing and you iron that on. So what we're going to do now is gather this and mark where the middle is from your waistband, cross this over with the mid-front matching, and then we're gonna attach one part of the waistband to the top. And what I like mostly is that I attach the part with the interfacing to the top so that it falls down and you have the more stiffer side of the fabric outside. So we're gonna pin that to each other. We don't pin it all the way around. I'm not very sure if I want to gather it here also. We certainly not gonna sew the waistband all the way around, so we leave a part of about 15 centimeters left in the middle, and maybe we have to gather this part and this part too, but I'll see how it looks like when it's gathered, if we have to do that or not, so come back for that. Oh, and what we also can do is hem the back neckline, just the same as the ruffle and the sleeves. Just fold in and make a stitch all around the neckline. Okay, so I thought I'd show you again what I did, because maybe I wasn't that clear. I pinned down the crossover in the front, and here is the gathering. So I put right sides together, the waistband on top of the front part, and I made the gathering 70 centimeters, which was a quarter of my waist. So what you made in the drawing with the measurements, this was the 17 centimeters. So left and right from the middle, I took 70 centimeters, gathered in till 17, and then I put the right side of the waistband next to it, on top of it, and I pinned that down. Going to the back, I pinned that down too. I didn't do a gathering here because this looked really good, so I left it like this, and I left out the middle of the back part. So here I didn't put the waistband on, because then when we make a bow with this, we can gather it, and that is enough for the width for me. So I think it's okay for you. So we're gonna sew now all the way around the waistband, and then we fold it over, down and under, and then you can sew this against the seam by hand or with machine if you're comfortable with that. So you do that all the way around, and then you can finish the ends that are not attached just by folding them together and sew it all till the end. When you have folded over the waistband right side out, pin it, and then do a straight stitch as close to the fold as possible. If you want, you can do a straight stitch all the way around the waistband, but at least you must do it on top where you fold it in to secure the waistband all around. So this is the result. I'm very happy how it turned out. It's just the right length, just around the waist. If I would buy this in the shops, it would probably end here, and now it's exactly my waist, so I like that. I like the cap sleeves because they're very flowy and airy and open, and that's very nice. Now we have a heat wave here in the Netherlands, so I like that very much. The ruffles, not too much, not too little. As you see, I did a safety pin here because otherwise it will fall open, and I don't like that too much, so I put a safety pin. You can also put a snap in here, but I think this will do right. The back is very nice. As you can see, I didn't make strings out of this fabric because I thought the fabric is rather loud, and I just took some satin strings I cut out of tops that I don't understand why they are there. They're very annoying, always speaking out. So I use them for the strings, and I like how it turned out. I like how it looks. The bow in the back, very nice. The gathering here comes naturally. You can tuck it in if you like, but when you tie the bow, it will gather by itself. So yes, very happy with it. So this is the end of the video. If you have things I could create for you, if you've seen something, send me a picture and I will try to recreate it, and we can make a pattern together and we can sew it. So send me a picture if you have something you would like me to make. Yeah, like it very much. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you needed all the information I put in the video. Maybe it's too much for you, maybe it's too little. I'm not really sure how much people know about sewing or about pattern making, so maybe I can cut half of it. Maybe you need it all. Let me know how much information was useful or how much I didn't have to put in, so then I can change it for the next videos the way it's useful for you. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!